Hello everyone. Welcome to this video of mine. Today I will be talking about the recent report about the killing of three indigenous Papuan, young indigenous Papuan from the Dogiyai region of West Papua. So last week, three indigenous Papuans from Dogiyai region were actually shot by the Indonesian security force or the police in Dogiyai region of West Papua. As a result, it has escalated into violence where the houses of the civilians were actually burned to the ground, and a lot of civilians over in the area were threatened, intimidated by the Indonesian security forces in the Dogiyai region of West Papua. So the shooting of the three indigenous Papuans is just similar to the event that happened in 2014, where Indonesian security force shot four indigenous Papuans in Paniai region of West Papua. So the Paniai and Dogiyai are within the same area, same region, but they have their own different regencies. However, the people over there share the same language and customs, everything. So we are extremely concerned that this creation of this new the provinces in West Papua, the OB plan, has created this new wave of violence that the people of West Papua has never seen in the past. And you have this creation of this new province that created this a mass influx of people moving into the area, and then as a result, indigenous Papuans, especially innocent people, are caught in the middle, and they have now become target of this ongoing Indonesian military, hate, and towards the indigenous Papuans. So, from the information that we have received, these young Papuans have done nothing wrong at all. They were just sitting on the side of the road, enjoying the day and minding their own business. And all of a sudden, they were shot at, and then the people that actually did carried out the murder were actually driven in a car, and obviously we know everywhere in West Papua, you hear the same report about indigenous Papuans being run by a car or being shot at and by somebody driving a car, and once they shot the victims, they immediately leave. And so we know who are the people that are actually behind this. And from the reports that we have seen now from the Indonesian police, they're saying that it's unknown. They don't know who actually is behind it, but we know for sure that the people that are actually behind these killings in West Papua are linked to the Indonesian military police. And from the evidence that we have seen, these people are part of they're part of the Indonesian police operating in the areas. So we want to let the international community know that the issue of West Papua currently West Papua is under Indonesian rule, basically doesn't have any future. What we have seen now is the ongoing human rights violations being committed against serious human rights violations being committed against the Melanesian peoples of West Papua. Recently, at the United Nations UN hearing in in Geneva, where the UN Human Rights Advice on Genocide has clearly stated that this is an ongoing, progressive, human rights, serious human rights violations being committed against indigenous peoples of West Papua who continue to be to remain in that hopeless state of situation where they can't do anything to free themselves, and that is why the report by the recent this special advisor on genocide at the UN in Geneva. It's a wake-up call to the leaders of the Pacific that they cannot ignore the plight of the people of West Papua. And as you all can see in the media right now across the Pacific, West Papua is vying to become a member of MSG. And, you can see the Indonesian government is also playing its tactics in going around and lobbying the members of the MSG um, with its money or checkbook diplomacy, trying to buy, buy the support. But that's the last attempt by the Indonesian government to hold into West Papua. So they will continue these killings and continue to lie in front of the world leaders. So we want to encourage, we want to let our leaders in the region know, especially in Melanesia, that the humanitarian must be a priority. We need to understand that the issue of West Papua is no longer an internal matter for Indonesia. It is a global concern. It's a global issue, and we need to see how the UN is handling this case. And the recent report by the UN Special Advisor on prevention of genocide have actually made a some compelling reports on the case of West Papua, and this should be a wake-up call to the leaders of our region, and they cannot deny or ignore the plight of the West Papuan people. They must take this issue very seriously. So I would like to appeal to the leaders of MSG in the upcoming meeting to consider the case of West Papua in ensuring that West Papua becomes a member of MSG, full member, so that it can, West Papuan leaders can be able to table these very important issues that need to be discussed. And all these years, they've been silenced by the Indonesian government. We simply don't know about more about what's happening in West Papua. And they've been hidden from the rest of the world for over 60 years. And also, we all know that currently in West Papua, the ongoing Indonesian military government ban foreign media and journalists to go to West Papua. So this is resulting, escalation of human rights violations, and this would be one of the clear case of indigenous Papuans being shot, being killed like animals. And you see what's happening now in Ukraine, in Europe. The European countries are all supporting the struggle of the people of Ukraine. They are lobbying, they're united in the fight to support Ukraine in ending this war against Russia. But we're not seeing this in the Pacific. The leaders of our region, especially in the Melanesia and the Pacific, are not united in supporting the fight for freedom for the people of West Papua. We need to show that we need to show that we do care about what's happening in our region, and instead of being a hypocrite and trying to support what's happening in Ukraine, in Europe, and then turning a blind eye on what's happening on our doorstep. So we want to encourage our leaders to to unite together, because the fight of the West Papuan people to be free and independent, it's about humanity. It's about protecting human beings, saving another life of a person. So um, currently, right now in West Papua, as we speak, the lives of the West Papuan people are in great danger as Indonesia vigorously try to, promote this creation of these new provinces. And we have seen that this creation of these new provinces has resulted in new problems that have been created. One of them would be land grabbing. Land is being taken illegally without consulting the indigenous people of West Papua. We have seen the mass influx of Indonesian migrants moving over to West Papua, taking up jobs that are mainly reserved for the people of West Papua. And then they're creating these new provinces when in fact the people of West Papua do not want, creation of these new provinces. So why are they creating these new provinces? And of course, this is one of the tactics that Indonesian government will use to hold on to West Papua. So that is the last desperate attempt to hold on to West Papua. So by creating these new provinces, that will pave the way for Indonesian migrants to move into West Papua and populate the entire western half of the island of New Guinea. And it is very dangerous towards for the people of West Papua. Many Papuans have stated that this is actually a pathway to ethnic cleansing. So we, the leaders of the Pacific, cannot remain silent. This is a wake-up call, and we cannot, look at what's happening in Europe and supporting the war between the Ukraine and Russia. We have our own problem here, issue in the Pacific. We should be united together in supporting the people of West Papua in their fight for freedom. So we want to encourage us to again um, do not ignore the plight of the West Papuan people. In this case, the recent shooting of these three young indigenous Papuans. It reminds me of the incident happened in 2014 where four indigenous Papuans from the same area in Paniai and Dogiyai, they're within the same region of West Papua. And the killing that happened in 2014 towards these four indigenous young high school Papuans. Up until now, the victims are still demanding justice from the Indonesian government. The victims, the family are suffering in silence, and the perpetrators of these crimes are able to walk free and without being charged or held accountable for the crimes that they've committed against these people. So it's really sad that when the world is actually rallying and support the people of Ukraine, the people of Pacific have not done enough to support the plight of the people of West Papua, and we should be united in our one voice and taking the matter issue of West Papua to UN and to have West Papua put back on the UN decolonization so that um, it can be decolonized and Papuans be given the opportunity to decide what's actually best for them. So the current issues now in West Papua right now, we have this ongoing Indonesian military operations that has resulted in massive displacement of indigenous Papuans. Right now, currently over 100,000 plus indigenous Papuans have been displaced from their homes and villages. And since 2018, up in Induga region of West Papua, the entire villages, the entire community have actually left the area, and they've gone through. A lot of people are actually, have actually a lot of people have died. Many women and children, actually, mothers have actually experienced miscarriage, giving birth to children in the bush, in the jungle, and without access to the proper health care. And we have all the women, all the people who also have died, and also the victims of these ongoing Indonesian military operations. The victims have continued to live in the trauma experience. So this is tragedy. This is something that is happening right on our doorsteps, and we are not doing anything to take Indonesian government hold them accountable for these crimes against humanity. Who are we to fear them? They're not God. They're just human beings like us. The only person that we need to fear is only God Almighty, the one that creates the great heaven and earth. So we have nothing to fear about. So let us all united fight to free the people of West Papua. And also, let me just remind you all again, in regards to to the current situation right now in West Papua. The situation right now in West Papua is extremely urgent. Right now, there's ongoing liberation war between the West Papuan National Liberation Army and Indonesian military. The West Papuan National Liberation Army are also armed with latest weapons as well. And Indonesian military, we have seen a lot of casualties from the Indonesian side as well. So what we have seen is that Indonesian um, government, especially its military officials, are not reporting on the media the casualties from the Indonesian military side or Indonesian military police. They're not putting it on the media for all Indonesians to know. They're actually hiding it from the rest of the Indonesia. So people don't know exactly how many Indonesians have been killed in West Papua. But for the West Papuan people, especially from the liberation side, whenever there is a casualty or somebody from the side uh, gets killed, they actually put it out on the public for every West Papuans to know, and we sort of pay tribute to the person. But that's not the case for the Indonesian soldiers or police that get killed in West Papua. They sort of hide it from the Indonesian um, people, public. So, and also you have this issue of propaganda or fake news being being aired on the Indonesian media and also on the especially online social media, where they can continue to publish this fake news. And one of them, for example, we heard about um, the Indonesian the police in Papua claimed that Egyanus, who is the actual commander in the Induga agency, he claimed that he wanted the money before he can release the New Zealand pilot. But that wasn't the case. That was actually a lie, a public lie. And the police that actually made this statement in the media is not even held accountable for publishing fake news or giving false information to the Indonesian media and public. So I'm so surprised that the Indonesian government still, believes in all this bullshit he has said in his media statement, interview, when he said that like Egyanos wanted 500,000, 5 million rupiah, $5 million before he could release the New Zealand pilot. But that is not true. That was a lie, and this report was actually published in all the Indonesian media, and everyone thought it was true. And later we heard from the commander Egyanus himself saying that wasn't that was a lie. He never mentioned that. He stated that in his previous video, he mentioned that all he wanted is for Indonesian government to sit down with the West Papuan leaders and talk about our right to independence, our right to freedom. That's all he wanted. He never asked for the money. So where did this idea of this $5 million came from? So you can see that this is how the Indonesian government they try to manipulate and brainwash their own people by giving all this false information. And so it's really sad that these people that are behind this propaganda of giving false information to the public are still in the position like the Papua police, who were the ones that who is the one that actually said that Egyanus wanted $5 million before he could release the New Zealand pilot, but that wasn't true. So you can get more information about that from one of the video that the chairman of OPM, Jeffrey Bomanak, actually released, where he condemned the actions of the Papua police for lying in front of the Indonesian public, claiming that Egyanus wanted 5,000 or $5 million before he could release the pilot, but that was a big lie. So this is something that the people of West Papua have experienced over the years. So Um, and in regards again, coming back to the killing of these three young uh, people in Dogiyai region of West Papua, it's really sad that Indonesian government still cannot understand the seriousness of the actions, what the actions would lead to. And just imagine, just 2 weeks ago at the UN, UN Human Rights meeting in Geneva, the special advisor on prevention of genocide has made some very, very, statement, important statement that Indonesian government need to really consider that if they continue to operate in that um, way by continuing to operate with with this impunity of like attacking, killing indigenous Papuans, it will have a serious consequence on the Indonesian government, and they haven't really learned about this. They kind of like take this matters, not too serious about it. So we want to let the international community know that I think it's about time the world needs to take actions, and it seems like Indonesian government is itself is not able to control what's happening in West Papua. They're they're totally incapable of controlling the military and the police that are in West Papua, and they're operating like criminals and like gangs and doing whatever they please and killing and attacking innocent civilians in West Papua as they please. And they feel that this is like their hideout. They can do whatever they want, and they can't be held accountable for the actions. So we demand the international community to take actions and do something about it, because this has gone far too long, and something needs to be done about it. So once again, before I finish, I would like to take this opportunity to send my condolence on behalf of my family to the victim, the immediate families of the victims in Dogiyai region of West Papua. Our prayers and thoughts are with you all during this time of sorrow, during this time of difficulties. So once again, thank you for watching my video, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Papua Merdeka.